Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Digiverse Divecast. And now, there's gonna be the more you know sound effect, and I'll fade in the Pride logo with like a sparkle. I'm not doing any of that shit.
Oh, you're gonna do all of that, but you can't censor me saying
Nice try. Thank you for not actually saying it during a portion I would have to censor.
You've been delaying you've been delaying editing the fucking 13 plus podcast for like a month straight at this point because
of all the beeps I have to edit.
True.
I have to add so many
because you have to do
it.
any amount of editing at all as the editor. We're delayed you by a month, so no, you're not fucking doing that even remotely.
It's so funny that
remember when I asked to just edit?
It's so funny that anytime there's an episode that I need to actually edit instead of just doing the audio balancing and then scrubbing through for 10 minutes to be like, is there too much silence here? Okay, I'll cut it. I just don't want to do it.
Can I be so for real with you?
Yeah.
It was gonna say, I think you need to give Yuki editing duties because then the episodes actually fucking get uploaded.
The problem isn't that I don't, because it's not that I don't like editing. I hate the monotonous editing of a podcast. I fucking loved doing the highlight video on your channel. Tell me your fucking headphones are dying right now. I'll kill you.
Yeah, anyway. With all the other editing you have to do.
Yeah, but I know it's a Herculean task.
Please just give him the fucking Yuki. God.
It's not, because that requires transferring files, and Yuki doesn't know the audio presets, and I don't want to bother with it because it's separate audio tracks and everything. It's such a pain in the ass. I want to put that on her. I'll get it done. It's not an important thing.
Don't you have a shit ton of free time right now?
That's actually part of the problem, if you believe it. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna cut out the entirety of the last 4 fucking minutes.
We should probably just do the intro again at this point.
No, because I already used my one. It's fine. Okay. So this is something I promised I would do, and then as it turns out, moving is really hard, so I put this off until 12 a.m. on the 28th of June. So you're hearing this not even 48 hours after we recorded it, most likely, if you're listening to this day one. Hopefully you're still listening to this when it's Pride Month. You might not be. That's fine. Pride is every month as far as I'm concerned. So the idea here is that I'm going to go over the history of queer representation in Digimon as a franchise, because it's actually a topic that has some meat to it, mostly in the last,
year?
Mostly in the last year as far as hard confirmed in-text canon. And I was going to say in recent memory, but then I remembered Cyber Sleuth came out 10 fucking years ago.
No, old Digimon games are like Digimon World Free and Rumble Arena.
Cyber Sleuth is still pretty new.
It came out on the Vita. It means life.
The most recent Digimon things. The previous game. The one that came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition.
Out now on Nintendo Switch.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting topic, and I'm going to go in order of I will be starting with the examples that are they are literally stated in official text to be queer in some way, of which there are technically 3 examples, but directly stated to your fucking face, there are 2. For named important characters. There's a bunch of Cyber Sleuth NPCs that outright state they're gay, but they're side quest NPCs and stuff, so they are representation as fact, but they're not named plot relevant characters. The most recent named important NPC as if it's a fucking video game.
Yeah.
Character in general, that is just straight up queer. The first example of which is Unchained. Unchained is stated on the actual Digimon Liberator webpage in their character bio to be of not a gender, an unknown gender. It's described as their appearance is neither male nor female, and they don't identify as either. Unchained is purely just agender, non-binary. It's kind of up in the air which of the two. in Japan especially, those two things aren't super distinguished from each other. It's like X gender is what they go with for a lot of this stuff. It's, I don't want to say less nuanced, but there's a larger umbrella term that they usually use over there that kind of incorporates both non-binary and agender individual. There's actually going to be quite a few things I need to kind of draw attention to the like differences culturally, because there's one very specific example that's my own personal psychosis that I recently discovered actually has more evidence behind it than I initially thought. So that's at the very end, though. Yeah. Unchained is canonically non-binary. They are the main antagonist, technically.
They are absolutely the main antagonist,
they're the main
Liberator.
antagonist of Digimon Liberator. They're the final boss. I love them dearly. They're probably my favorite character in that entire webcomic, beyond even just being good old-fashioned non-binary rep. I adore them, and they're great. And like their entire persona is meant to be androgynous and not lean one way or the other. Again, there is a very interesting section where they take over Close's avatar to masquerade as her for a while. And when they're doing that, they confront the real Close, and they mention that they never really cared for presentation one way or the other, but they gotta say presenting as a girl is actually pretty awesome. It's really, really funny. Just classic fucking heavily femme-leaning envy shit. I felt that in my soul.
Yeah.
As someone who has giant tits and loves having them, but also strictly identifies as non-binary in every sense of the word. Like, I am not a woman, I never will be, and never was. Yeah, just, I fucking love it. And it's like, it was the most recent example of queer representation in Digimon when I mentioned I was going to be doing this a month ago, and then like a couple weeks ago, fucking Beat Break gave us another one that I'm going to talk about now. So let me do that real quick. Geckomon is covering them. Their Digimon partners are visible. They're barely visible behind my talking face.
God.
Anyway, this is... Why am I forgetting one of their names? It's Canon and Mito? Mito and Canon? Right?
I kind of figured you were the one who had notes for this.
Like, I did... Oh, I do. I just, for some reason, it completely slipped.
Meto.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Meto and Canon from Digimon Beat Break. They are Rose's underlings, known as the Brilliant Thorn.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, because they were featured in the ED of the third core, and right away, like, they had the kind of, like, are these two, like, lesbians vibe to them?
Because the fact that they are in the ED means that, like...
the ED is all women.
Yeah, because the Meto is, like... I think it's Meto is the one who's, like, a little bit more mass-presenting.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that they're in the ED means that they
are both women.
Yeah.
And just, like, when they were... the first episode they were introduced in, they have, like, that dynamic between them that I'm just like... This is very, like, prince and princess kind of dynamic. Mm-hmm. And it seems very, like, that kind of way. And then at the end of episode 34?
I think
33. It was the Algamon episode. I'm pretty
sure. It's like 31-ish.
Is it that early?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, wow. They literally are talking to each other, and Canon says, "That's what I love about you." I'm just like, oh, okay, they're just saying it. All right, well, I guess we have official important characters from a mainline Digimon TV series that are a lesbian couple. Which, it's not the first time they've included a lesbian couple in a mainline Digimon TV series, but these ones are actually named and not a background element. I'll talk about the Appmon lesbians later. Yeah, no, named characters from Digimon Beat Break that are just a lesbian couple. Not subtext, just straight up.
Full-on lesbians.
Yep.
Which is fucking awesome. It's really good that they're just unabashedly doing stuff like this. Because now, we're going to talk about Cyber Sleuth. Oh, Jesus Christ. Uh-huh. There's a lot to talk about with Cyber Sleuth.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yo, so
first and foremost, Faye Wong from Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. She is... I can't say explicitly stated because they never use the terminology, but the way she talks about Yuko cannot be read in any other way except for the fact that she is romantically, completely and utterly infatuated with Yuko Kamishiro. Like, it cannot be read any other way. Anyone who says
it's like specifically herself, because she's in like normal cyber sleuth, but a lot of the things that people use as like the evidence for it is in Hacker's Memory specifically, right?
You have more extended conversations with her in Hacker's Memory where she says she's dedicated her entire life to one girl. The way she feels about Yuko goes beyond like a friendship or even lovers. Like, she is very much definitely completely and utterly in love with Yuko. And Yuko does kind of sort of reciprocate depending on how you read her dialogue. Hers is much less explicit, but it does definitely read that way with the context of how Faye talks about her. So those are, again, important named NPCs in this case in a video game that are more or less canonically stated to be gay, or at the very least bisexual, but in Faye's case, almost explicitly, she is like strictly a lesbian. Which brings me to another fucking Hacker's Memory character, because this one is even more like straight up, this one is just like stated in text to just have romantic feelings. Alright, incredibly unprofessional because the PNG wasn't available properly, but this is Yunogi from Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. They are the protagonist character Keisuke's best friend. Yeah, quote, best friend. They outright state at a later point in the plot that they are romantically interested in Keisuke. And that is because they're like an antagonist of the story. And that's the reason they did what they did, is because they are in love with the main character. Straight up says that, like, romantically in love verbatim. There is like no debate about that. They just are gay.
They really took advantage of like the fact that Hacker's Memory was like a side game with less eyes on it to just put some shit in that they, for instance, Time Stranger does not even get anywhere near this kind of stuff.
Like, the only thing Time Stranger does is some characters you could read as queer just because it kind of has that vibe. Like, Beelstarmon and Asuna are very much seem like a lesbian couple. My Own Psychosis, Minerva, if you choose Kanan instead of Dan. Because Minervamon has like a whole side quest about not knowing what love is, and the implication is that she doesn't realize that she's in love with the player character.
Sorry, you said Asuna and Beelstarmon, and mine immediately jumped to, fellas, is it morally ethical to fuck your cat if your cat can consent?
Is it morally ethical to fuck your cat if your cat turned into a really hot 6 foot tall woman who's got lots of underboob? Like a human woman.
I mean, I would.
She can consent, right? Like,
Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Words.
Yunogi, explicitly stated within the narrative to be romantically interested in the main character of Hacker's Memory, who is explicitly a guy. It is homosexual attraction.
It's actually funnier that it happens in Hacker's Memory because it's the only story game, like, in general, I think, where you cannot pick player gender.
Yeah, Keisuke is a set character. You cannot pick his gender.
And this one is also kind of funny because, as far as I haven't actually played Hacker's Memory yet, I intend to. Isn't it like Keisuke does not reciprocate?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why you kind of has like a little bit of a freak out, is because Keisuke just doesn't feel the same way.
Which is, at least in, like, you know, obviously I feel like most people would prefer it if a gay rep ends with a gay couple coming together, but I do think it's like at least kind of interesting as like this is a thing that happens a lot in the real world of like a gay guy falls in love with their straight friend and it's just like
fell in love with the straight boy. That's on you, buddy.
Yeah, like it was like, no, it just doesn't feel the same way.
No, unfortunately, Keisuke's way more into autistic girls with plushies. Very unfortunate.
Unfortunately, I do relate to that more than so I do relate to Kate. Yeah, I get him on that, unfortunately.
Jesus Christ.
And that one part of the game, too.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The options, the dialogue options you could choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really gotta fucking play Hackers
Poor little
Memory.
white boy.
So that is the end of the named important characters who are confirmed to be some flavor of queer.
Yeah.
However, there are other characters in Hacker's Memory who are just stated within text to be queer. Mainly, there's a couple of funny NPCs that are. Anyway, yeah, there's this NPC called Hot Guy in Cyber Sleuth, where your side quest is there's like a Lilamon that's infatuated with him and everything because he's a model, and then at the end of the quest, he just goes, "I'm into guys." Just like no ambiguity. He's just like, "Yeah, I'm gay."
Fucking doing like the fucking old the iDubbbz like jumping down from the fucking cameras going, "I'm gay."
I'm fine if she deletes all my calls from women. I like dick.
Yeah, I fucking love cock. I don't know what to tell you,
me
kid.
a favor. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so like this is just
Speaking
another.
of which, you're a guy. How you doing?
Jesus Christ.
Tries to make a pass on you, but only if you're playing as fucking.
Yeah.
You properly retranslate that game, he'll still do it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. We'll get to the translation fuckery after the ones that are canonically like in text without the translation fuckery. Like this guy, and there is one more also is... Oh, well, you can't fucking... Whatever.
Stupid ass head.
I don't know why the fucking, like, window keeps not... Like, the transition is happening before... This program sucks.
Yep.
It's supposed to be a little more fluid video-wise, but whatever. This is an NPC from a really early side quest where they're part of 3 hacker siblings, and this one is doing a dating site scam where they're catfishing people, and they're posing as whatever, like, gender the other person is into, and then like meeting up and catfishing them and everything. And the reason they're doing it is because when they were signing up for Eden and the dating site, there was only the man and the woman option, and that pissed them off because they're not either. They say that in text. They say, "You might think I'm a guy, but I'm not a woman either." And then they're just like, "Yeah, no, when I was signing up, there were only the 2 avatar options, and it made me really upset because that's not me. They're just canonically non-binary. Ignore the fact that they're also scamming old people by selling them fake medication. We don't need to talk about that. We stand in NBK."
I mean, I would do that.
We can allow a little evil during Pride.
Yeah, it's Pride. Be gay, do crime, scam old people, and
I was about to say, if there's anyone who fucks over the LGBT, it's old people. So I mean,
yeah, that's true. They had it coming.
True.
Yeah.
Kill the old, eat the rich.
Okay, now we can talk about Cyber Sleuth a little bit. I don't have any images for this because there's way too many examples and it's the funniest shit in the fucking world. So, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is a game that was written with one script in mind. A script where you are playing as the male player character whose name I literally do not know.
I was literally thinking like it's like no, I was like the surname and Takumi. I know Ami. Takumi. It's Takumi.
It's Takumi. So here's the thing. Ami is canon. So like, just kind of like, it's not officially stated to be canon, but all subsequent material about Cyber Sleuth uses Ami primarily. She is likely the canonical protagonist of that game.
One of the funnier options was that, like, in the card game, like, they eventually did make a Takumi card, yes. But for the Cyber Sleuth, like, specific, like, the set that was specifically themed around, like, Cyber Sleuth, like, the first one, like, there was no Takumi card, there was just the Ami card.
There was just Ami Aiba, yeah.
Yeah, they did, again, make a Takumi card for the sequel set that was more around Hacker's Memory, but, like, very much, like, especially, like, on the fucking box art of, or the pack art of the 22 set Cyber Eden focused on Cyber Sleuth. It's the Cyber Sleuth cast with Ami in the middle.
Yep. Like, Ami is very specifically the canonical choice for protagonist of Cyber Sleuth, especially as a foil to Keisuke only being a guy as the protagonist for the parallel story of Hacker's Memory.
Yeah, that's probably actually why they do it, primarily because they already have Keisuke for the guy, so it makes more sense.
And now again, this was a retroactive decision, which makes so many things insanely funny. So, in Cyber Sleuth, the game was originally written with a script where the male protagonist was the assumed choice.
Yep.
So there are several NPCs that will talk to you as if you are a male. And they only wrote one script for the game. They didn't bother to change anything if you chose Ami instead. She was obviously a late addition.
Which makes it funnier that she retroactively
became the canonical choice. The funniest one is there is a guy in Akihabara who will approach you and be like, you look like someone who's into hot girls, right? Just immediately clocking Ami as a lesbian, which she is.
Yeah.
And we know this with subsequent material. So there's just so many instances of that. Specifically, and the funniest one is Nokia.
Do you have a picture of Nokia?
I do have. I have a very specific image of Nokia and Ami.
Uh-huh.
So throughout, I'm gonna put it up when it becomes relevant. Okay.
Okay.
I know how to do stuff. So when throughout the game, Nokia, as the game goes on, has several lines of dialogue where she's very clearly like being flirtatious with the main character, and it's like, you know, it's very simple stuff and everything. But when you pick Ami, it doesn't change. So, like, it very much is just like Nokia's bisexual at the very least, a lesbian, more likely because of how canon works, technically. There's also the incredibly funny line of dialogue where Gabumon says, I thought you were...
I thought you were a thespian.
Yeah.
A thespian? I thought you liked guys.
Yeah, a thespian? I thought you liked guys. Which, in retrospect, that line is so fucking funny. However, for the anniversary art of Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, they released like a big... It was like the Hacker's Memory crew is up front, and then the main Cyber Sleuth characters are in the back. And it's just, you know, it's a big shot of everybody and everything.
Drawn by Suzuhito Yasuda.
Drawn by the official artist. You can buy a playmat of it. My first Digimon TCG playmat was actually a print of this art, because you could buy it that way. And the funniest part about this specific piece of art is that in the background of the art is Nokia and Ami sharing what I can only describe as a very passionate embrace. And the most important detail being that Ami is currently in the middle of taking off Nokia's underwear. It is the funniest piece of art they have ever put out. Like, this was the thing that most people point to as being Ami is like definitely the canon protagonist, because Takumi is also here, but he's like in the background.
He's like in the back, there's like Terriermon kind of chilling on his head.
Yeah, he's like not at all like the focus of the Cyber Sleuth side. It is exclusively Ami and Nokia here, and then the card game released the set where it was only Ami in the set for the Cyber Sleuth stuff, so it made it pretty obvious. But like, this was also like the big thing of just like, oh, Nokia and Ami might be like the intended kind of canonical pairing post Cyber Sleuth. Like, that's just kind of how Bandai views these characters, which is really interesting. Because that's not...
I mean, what are your other options for like Ami specifically? Arata? That's not.
Yugo before Cyber Sleuth.
She don't need that mess.
Yugo also has some dialogue that could imply romantic connection before the Hacker's Memory came out.
I don't think Arata even does. That guy's too busy like doing whatever the fuck he was doing in that game.
Yeah, he's not... Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just... This is such a funny piece of official... Like, they put this out as official material, which is the big thing. Like, that's... Because, like, of course there's tons of fucking fan art, and, like, people have fan ships and everything, like... By the way, full disclosure, I'm not talking about anything that is not at least somewhat official in any capacity. So, I'm not talking about fucking Taichi Yamato.
As much as it... Yeah.
No, like, it doesn't matter how popular that ship is. At no point in the actual fucking show do they ever even remotely imply that.
There is exactly one of those, like, I guess, protagonist rival things in the shows, but they have... given any amount of lip service to.
And it's Daisuke Ken specifically in the beginning for one line of dialogue. Like,
which is, to be fair, if you were gonna give lip service to any of them, those two were definitely like the most like...
That's the one you go for sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just like random tangent here. I'm not talking about any of that, because this is I'm talking about actual proper representation here, not what the fandom has taken onto themselves as representation. Because that isn't something I'm giving Bandai credit for. That's something the fans have done. Like, this is something Bandai did. Which is very interesting that, like, it was purely an accident or maybe even just laziness that
I think it was genuine laziness that kind of led to this, which is kind of hard to give them credit for.
We
but
don't want to proofread the script.
It's not even proofreading. They just didn't want to make a second script. And it's just like that happy accident and like people really latching onto that of being like, isn't it so funny that like if you pick Ami, there are tons of characters in the game that just turn into fucking raging lesbians. And it's like really funny that happens. I kind of like this about that game.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, but there are tons of NPCs in Cyber Sleuth that just are gay. And maybe it was just like them kind of like poking at the idea or testing the waters or just being like, that's kind of funny that this happened. We'll just leave it like that. But then going back post-launch for new official material and just be like, you know what? No, that is canon. Ami's the protagonist and she's a raging fucking lesbian.
This does, because, you know, if we're talking about the company's handling of Pride, then I think that this is, worth bringing up as, like you know, unfortunately, it's not always, because, like, for me, that does kind of put it in the side of, like, they were testing the waters a little bit with Cyber Sleuth, way more explicit about it in Hacker's Memory, and then Time Stranger, the one that was built to a much larger audience because it wasn't primarily developed for the Vita, like, that one, just, again, the most, like, mainstream appearing Digimon, like, game, suddenly walks the amount of reps back.
The reason I'm willing to give them rope on that front specifically is because Time Stranger is not about human characters so much that I genuinely feel like they wouldn't even have had time to kind of even throw something like that in. It's like such an, because like that game is about something so specific.
Yeah.
It like has like a core narrative theme that it is getting like pushing through, where like Cyber Sleuth is about something, but it's not like about like there's not something that is at the core of what Cyber Sleuth is trying to say, I would say.
No, where, like, there is, but
it's just not as like
it's not focused about it.
Yeah. And like they are, and this is just something that Bandai as a whole with Digimon is very cagey about, is like Digimon human relationships going beyond being like partnerships and friendships.
Yeah.
They, despite how prevalent that idea is within the fandom, because it is the number one thing in the fandom.
Because it's like, it's not as, like, you know, we're putting out the obvious comparison here. With, like, Pokemon, it's fucking weird because those things are, like, your
they're
pet.
Animals.
Yeah.
But like,
those are animals.
Digimon, like, they're Digimon that are humanoids. They are fully sentient creatures. They can talk to you.
They're sentient creatures. They can talk to you. Like, half of them end up as hot guys or women with ginormous tits.
Yeah. And it's like, so there's much...
You didn't make 15 variants of Anjouwomon for me not to at least go once, hey, I want to fuck every single one of those.
I saw how you fucking modeled Venusmon's ass in that game. Like,
speaking of which... No, I'm not going to talk it. That's completely unrelated. I'm going to cut this part out. The fucking photo mode they're adding is going to make it so much easier to like be like, check out they modeled Sarasmon's entire fucking ass.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to the video.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. It's just like, I did think it was worth pointing out. Just like,
of course.
I think you are right to some degree. It does also still stand out to me that the one clearly designed to be more mainstream than even Cyber Sleuth was the one to like
kind of like
walk it back a little bit.
Yeah, because there are no like there are plenty of characters that could be read that way. Like Hiroko and Inori together can absolutely 100% be read as a romantic affection for each other. Like without a doubt in my mind. Like Hiroko's side especially.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Some of her dialogue is so like deeply personal when it comes to talking about Inori. It's just like 100%. And again, Minerva, depending on like but like that's the thing is with the I guess Time Stranger spoilers. Skip ahead like 2 minutes. Like with the reveal that the main character isn't actually like a person, but just a shade of Agiomon plucked from the ether to be this like agent of balance.
Yeah.
it would almost, like, if they tried to make characters be romantically interested in the main character, it would almost feel weird and kind of cheap.
I guess.
Because, like, they're not a person.
Yeah, a little
bit. I mean, you could still have, like things like, you know, like Faye, who is interested in a different, like, you know, gendered NPC, or like even just a side quest guy who's like, although I think literally every side quest except for like ones with story characters are with Digimon anyway.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, to be fair, you can just make the Digimon gay. Like, although
they also don't have, like,
they don't have genders.
Vaguely. Yeah, they very much want, like, especially with Beat Break, they've really kind of stepped away from explicitly gendering Digimon. Like, in Beat Break, they explicitly refer to every Digimon with neutral, like, language.
Yeah.
Like, for a while, people have always, like, gendered Digimon based on
there's a line in Tamers where, like, I think someone approaches, like, Renamon specifically about it, and Renamon, like, says that like Digimon do not have genders.
Yeah. And, like, that was the one-off instance of it, but then, like, even they never really stuck to it.
Yeah.
They play with it a little bit more in Survive, I believe. And then there's things like Ghost Game, where Gamamon is a boy. Explicitly stated, he is stated to be a son,
little brother.
Yeah. Like, but especially with Beat Break, they've really, like, reined that in to be like, no, Digimon are kind of like genderless beings that just happen to take on a presentation that is gendered. Liberator kind of plays with this too, where Close chose to be feminine presenting.
Yeah.
She actively chose that appearance and chose to be represented that way. While Unchained, who is also an AI, is someone who's just like, I don't care. Like, like, I don't give a shit about my gender presentation. Like, that's not, we don't need to care about that kind of thing. So they have been playing with that idea of, like, gender and, like, what that means for a digital being, which is all really interesting, and I hope they do more with that in the future. Like, they have something that really digs into that kind of thing. Maybe they will with Elysion, because Elysion's going to be continuing from where Liberator was, and they're definitely bringing Unchained back, because there's no way they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a huge tangent from the Nokia thing, but, like,
I just felt like pointing out that again, the time stranger thing, it does, you know, and I get it, but
I'm hoping that with the deal, like, with the expansion, because again, they're just like, this is the follow-up thing, where we know the barrier to entry is higher, so maybe people won't go for this. They might be like, okay, so maybe we have a little less oversight. Maybe we can start doing that kind of thing again.
Because if we know anything, for especially their big mainline projects, Bandai shuts down any attempted LGBT rep hard.
It's
shout out Witch from Mercury. You're the worst ever to do it, Bandai. Fuck you.
Genuinely, it almost feels like, because Time Stranger, like, they knew it was going to be the big new mainline thing, Bandai specifically was like, you have to reel it in.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely don't blame the writers of Time Stranger. I don't.
No, I never blame, like, the actual people behind it. I'm sure they would want to do it.
The company, not the writers.
Yeah, exactly.
Bandai suits are always to blame for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, huge tangent that got, like, super off topic, but
it's still within the realm of talking about LGBT rep in Digimon. So
just
it's fine. Just remember, as long if they're wearing rings and they're making out with tongue, it's up to interpretation.
It's always up to interpretation. Even if one of them refers to the other as a sister-in-law, it's up to interpretation. Don't worry about it.
You can't see me, but I'm doing the thing where I turn my fingers into a little gun and I'm pointing it at my temple.
All right. So now we're going to move on to the...
Now we're in the real nebula zone.
Yeah, the super fucking nebula zones. Okay, so I went over the things that aren't explicitly stated but heavily implied. So, okay, it's time for my personal psychosis.
Oh, you're not going to talk about the Epon NPCs?
Oh my god, oh yes, I forgot about them. Oh my god.
I think those are, like, the last ones before you... Before I go
the
take
background
a
lesbians.
drink or something.
Yeah. Okay, so... Very, very interesting thing. Let me get this ready real quick. So this is a really, really interesting one, because this is the first, as far as I know, some people think that there's a line that Gaomon says in Sabers that implies he is in love with Thomas.
They don't approach that shit in these shows. I don't believe that.
It's like a one-off line. I personally don't subscribe to that thing. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the first instance of them putting outright, just straight up, this is a queer representation in the show textually. So this was from an episode of Appmon. I think it was specifically episode 21, or maybe it was a little earlier than that. What? 21? Shut the fuck up.
Thank God I don't got that in it.
At a point, there's a character scrolling a social media feed, and very briefly, the post that's in the background of the image right now shows up on screen, and it is a person talking about their date being late. And then the image associated with it is two women, and it's like on a, and then it's like on a date with my partner in the follow-up post with a heart emoji, and it's a picture of two women together. It is purely a background element. They're neither named. None of them are named, but it is just straight up like, this is a lesbian couple. They are clearly on screen. It's a background element while someone else is scrolling a social media page and everything. Mm-hmm. However, more interesting is the follow-up to this is, I believe, asking if Haru and Yujin, I always forget his name. I want to say Yuji. Yeah. If Haru and Yujin are currently on a date.
Yeah.
And, like, they get weird about it.
Yeah, no, because, like, they are in the, like, Taichi Yamato, Daisuke, Ken kind of realm. Like, they are those for, like, Abmon.
Yes.
Yujin even does the thing that, like, Ken does of, like, only joining the team, like, halfway into the series.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I think Gatchmon even later on in that episode says a line, like has a line equivalent to something like, "Oh, I guess they are on a date after all," or something. Like, doing a little ooh kind of face too about it.
In Appmon especially, they really played with the idea that Haru and Yujin are like 100% like into one another.
Yeah,
like 100%.
Like there's a lot of stuff between those two. That's like, you know, like the presentation is supposed to be like, you know, kind of shonen, like, you are my fucking nakama type shit, but like there's clearly something about the way that like the lines are like written and like the
drawing a parallel to a lesbian couple. It's
and like the way that like there's sometimes like the animators like kind of pose them in certain ways together where it's like clearly like they're not going to be able to, because like Abmon especially is the show meant for fucking babies. Like it's like the youngest Digimon is like aimed outside of arguably Cross Wars. Yeah, but so, like, obviously, they're just not going to say it, but it's clearly, like, the staff was, like, clearly trying to kind of push that as far as they were, like, allowed to between those two.
Trying to get away with as much as they could. Yeah. I'm genuinely shocked they were allowed to get with the background element of the lesbian couple on the social media feed.
Because in a lot of anime, especially for ones like big franchises like this, pretty much everything gets, like, hyper-checked on this shit.
And they, like, hyper-sanitize everything they can.
Yeah.
It's like really fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think it's like absolutely worth drawing attention to this specific example because it's the oldest one that is like reasonable to like put your like actually believe in any regard.
But any weight behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a very interesting like piece of history of the franchise where it's just like, yeah, they just kind of did this out of nowhere. And then the franchise was dead for a while and then they did a fucking reboot. Whatever. Okay, now it's time for my personal psychosis.
Okay.
So I've been talking a lot about Digimon Liberator. Okay, hear me out. Fucking hear me out, okay?
You may go.
Oh boy.
Now, there are two characters in Digimon Liberator. Arisa and Violet.
I know, I've read the comic.
Yes. I'm explaining this to the fucking audience.
Yeah, because you're looking at me while doing it, so...
Because the mic is over here.
That's right.
So, from the first Zeroth chapter, the prologue chapter, there are small details. Again, I have my conspiracy cork board on screen for anyone who can't.
You look fucking insane right now. I just want you to know that.
Literally, I have laid out a conspiracy cork board. It's currently on the screen for anyone listening, like audio.
Yeah, no, I see it. I see it. Don't worry.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the fucking audience.
People who are listening. I don't know anything about this part of Digimon, so like I'm just sitting down, hands on my knees, like intently watching.
So, in the Zeroth chapter, this might be the longest section of the podcast, by the way. In the Zeroth chapter of Digimon Liberator, while Aris is calling Shoto to talk to him about joining the game, in the background, on her shelf, she has a framed photo of her and Arisa together. And it's like a recent one, too. Like, she has a fucking gay-ass photo of her gay-ass girlfriend, of them getting all close and touchy with each other, framed on the shelf above her fucking computer. And also, this is only a detail you can see in the Japanese version of the webcomic, because they changed the bubbles in the English version, and her bubble in English covers the fucking photo. It's crazy. So, me and our good, close, personal friend Nazo, friend of the podcast,
friend of the pod,
immediately started going into full-blown, like, these two are going to be gay together. Like, 100%, this is the Yuri we are. Like, this is going to be it. This is what we are. But we individually, as the two biggest lesbian fans in the entire world, are latching onto for this webcomic. And for a while, it was just like, hi, okay, yeah. Like, there are things that could be read, because the whole deal with Arisa and Violet is that Violet views Arisa as her true rival, like her biggest rival. Shoto was also considered a rival, but she doesn't put emphasis on Shoto the way she does Arisa, because Arisa was the first friend she made. There was like, they have a lot of history with playing the card game together. There's a big flashback sequence before
that's like
the real gay shit starts.
That flashback is also like, what the fuck's the particular genre? Class S Yuri? Like, it's got that kind of vibe to it.
It absolutely has the all-girl school, like, lesbian Class S Yuri type of vibe to it. 100%. Despite the fact that I'm pretty sure they went to the same high school as Shoto.
Don't worry about it.
And then in the second half of Liberator, there's like a stretch where Arisa and Violet are split off together because Shoto and Owen are busy being homosexual with each other, which I could also include in this, but doesn't have as many visual indicators as Arisa and Violet do.
There is one bit where, like, Shoto goes into what I can only describe as homosexual-induced psychosis, where he, like, literally makes up a backstory about him and Owen that just didn't actually fucking happen.
Yep, it's really funny, but that's neither here nor there. There's a section of the second part where Violet feels like she isn't contributing. Because during the first part, she had to be bailed out of fighting what was essentially the final boss of the first half.
She almost kicked the ass of, by the way.
Literally only lost because the NPC fucking cheated.
She was fighting like a Virus Imperial player, and he was like on the like old like EX3 shit, and he literally just like programs in the new support wave that was about to come out and beats her ass with it.
Yeah, and she's about to lose, but then Shoto jumps in and then like also cheats back by making programming in a new card for Safagamon to win the match. So like Arisa is like a not unskilled. She is one of the most skilled players.
Did Arisa?
Oh, did I say? Yeah. Sorry, I meant Violet is one of the most skilled players like in the actual game, as stated by multiple characters. Arisa says it multiple times. Shoto even says it multiple times. She's like, Violet's been on the debug team, like.
Violet is like notoriously like a player who's like won multiple like tournaments and is literally introduced because she's like a hardcore purple player and is like introduced of like she like the text box says like she's played like a bunch of decks and it shows like
all the meta purple decks.
Meta purple decks at the time. It's like Apocalypse, Luga, like Merva bullshit I think, and like Anubis I think.
And then. Like, after that, like, loss, she starts losing a lot of confidence in herself, and then there's a small arc where she has a second duel against Arisa. And in that duel, she gets her level 7 card, which is Dualahamon, and she manages to win. And after that victory, and again, she only got that victory because of the flashback to Arisa like playing the game with her and really letting her like have fun with the game again, because Arisa, despite like losing or winning, was always just having fun playing with Violet, which is something she wasn't used to, because Violet's used to people losing and then not wanting to play her anymore because she's too good at the fucking game. And
fucking obnoxious purple meta sheep.
Exactly, like that kind of stuff. And she manages to win, and then they share like it's a silhouetted in like Violet literally jumps into Arisa's arms crying, and they like share a really passionate embrace and everything. And then later, Arisa's sister shows up, Mirai,
I think this is actually before.
Is it before? I thought it was after.
It's before.
Really?
Yep.
Weird. It feels like it would be after. Whatever. Regardless. So, never mind. Before, it doesn't really matter the order this happens in. Mirai shows up and was talking to both Arisa and Violet.
Mirai's Arisa's sister, by the way, for context.
And she flirts with Violet. And when she does this, Violet gets very, like, flustered, and there's an explosion behind her to represent the, the burst of emotion and everything. And as I've demonstrated on the conspiracy board here, the colors of the explosion are basically, like, almost verbatim color picked from the lesbian pride flag. Like, explicitly, it is the darker purple, the lighter purple, the white, the heart, the separating white line, the lighter yellow, and then the deeper orange. Now, the lesbian pride flag isn't like... It is not as prevalent in Japan as it is in the Western world, but it is a universally recognized symbol for, like, lesbians. Because that was one of the big things, like, I thought of immediately, because I was like, Japan's symbolism, like, symbology for this kind of stuff is a little different from there than it is here.
Yep.
Maybe it's not as big of a thing there as it is here. And at first, I was just like, I can't really find any specific instances of them using this kind of thing. Like, it's a internationally recognized symbol, so the writer for Digimon would absolutely know what this is. Like,
yeah,
they would have seen this. But, like, there is something in Japan called the Dyke March, which is a specifically lesbian pride event march, and they have this exact symbol on their banner for it. So it is definitely within like queer communities in Japan.
Yeah.
It is a recognized symbol of specifically like lesbian pride. So, like, I don't think I'm insane by saying this isn't a coincidence. I think this is fully intentional, being like, yeah, no, Violet is 100% a lesbian.
Yeah.
And is, like, in love with Arisa. Verbatim. Like, just, like, no, like, ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I personally feel totally, like, confident in being like, yeah, that is the intent of this. Like, I feel like that was the intent of using these exact colors.
I definitely feel it with Violet, and I'm not, like, I do think that it would be one of those cases if case A is right, then case B is also right. I do feel like they are a little bit more cagey and vague about it with Arisa compared to Violet.
Like, 100% they don't go as hard as, like, on Arisa's side of things.
Yeah.
Like, again, most of the stuff with Arisa is, like, reciprocating actions from Violet. Like, like, openly accepting her into that really, like, passionate embrace when they have their duel together, reminding Violet of their past together, especially playing the game to get her, like, going out of her way to be, like, you know, like, help her and stuff like that. And, like, I don't know. And having the framed fucking picture of them together.
Yeah.
Like, even fucking teenage girls don't have framed pictures of them and their bestie on their fucking, like, shelf. That's not a thing teenagers do, as far as I know. That's my completely justified psychosis about these two particular characters, that I was right. I can smell gays from a mile away.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride, everybody.
So you're a cyber sleuth NPC?
Yeah. Yeah, I can clock a lesbian.
Oh, shit.
No gay coming off of you.
I'll walk up to someone and be like, "You look like you're." I'll walk up to a femme presenting person and be like, "You look like you're, like, way into hot girls," and they'll always say yes, every time.
Walk up to, like, a slightly homosexual look, and you look like you're, like, sucking dick.
How'd you know? Yeah.
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 This was fun. I liked compiling all this information. It was interesting. Yeah. Just kind of, like, reading more into the weeds about other people's interpretations of, like, queer characters from this franchise.
It would be, like, because Digimon is obviously a franchise that's trying to stay very modern, if not futuristic, about, like, the state of, like, you know, so, like, the internet technology especially. But, like, you know, I feel like for a series that is trying to sort of represent like sort of more culturally modern ideas and not like more stagnant ones, something like a Pokemon does or something. Like it's like also one of those things where it's like this is gonna be such a like a borderline lip sounding fucking thing. I swear to God. I feel like a series like that kind of almost has to be like intentionally has to be like a little bit more progressive, because to deliver really anything of substance about the things they're trying to talk about.
In order to buy into the world as this like modern world, and like with like the language people use and how individuals talk to each other, especially one that's so focused on like technology. Like it's always because the internet, the internet has become such a core part of what Digimon is as a franchise, and it's like the internet's really fucking gay. It doesn't take going through, like, especially if they keep a pulse on like Digimon fan spaces. Digimon fan spaces are really fucking gay. Yeah, they're so gay. It's like crazy how almost disproportionately queer they are for how the franchise, like for how mainstream, heavy air quotes there, Digimon kind of is.
Yeah.
And I think it comes a lot from it being more of a niche franchise until relatively recently.
Yeah, like literally like the last 12 months type of shit.
Yeah.
Like I think Digimon is not like, even with how popular the card game had been, I feel like you cannot say the Digimon that like at all broken into, and even now, like, it still does, like, there's Time Stranger did well, but like it was not like a fucking 10+ million seller or anything.
No, of course not.
But like people from Time Stranger's like announcement is like when you can say Digimon has really penetrated any kind of like the mainstream.
Because like we have multiple people who are just like, who are Digimon fans being like, yeah, I've been watching Digimon Beat Break. It's really good. People should check this one out.
Yeah.
And like tons of new people are coming into this franchise now. Like especially once Time Stranger got like announced, we personally know multiple people who were just like, this seems really interesting, and then picked up Cyber Sleuth because it's always so cheap, and like paid through Cyber Sleuth and wound up really liking it. Lua, for example.
Yeah.
Like people who like in a way became a fan of this franchise only recently, and like because of the kind of rapid explosion of going from something niche, which are like a lot of niche interests just kind of attract queer individuals, neurodivergent individuals, and of course those two things just kind of go hand in hand.
Niche franchises and neurodivergency go like fucking peanut butter and jelly.
It's a fucking circle. It's a circle. And like neurodivergency and queerness are also very tightly interlinked. Like obviously that one is much less of a circle than the previous one, but like a lot of people who are neurodivergent will like identify as queer in some way, and it's just like, so naturally Digimon cultivated a fan base that was like had a large portion of queer fans, and now suddenly there's this explosion of popularity. A lot of that queer art and queer fandom is being put straight to the forefront, and it's just really interesting to see, because like I'm curious if they know. I kind of feel like they have to.
Yeah, I do feel like, I mean, obviously the part of this is that we're talking about a franchise also, at least for a while, aimed at children. Like, obviously nowadays they're trying to skew.
They definitely skew older. They've even said with Beat Break they are skewing older.
Yeah.
Like,
so obviously, like, I still think like the queer rep could be more for what the franchise is talking about. But it's interesting that we've gotten the pieces we have.
Yeah, and as an aside, Cyber Sleuth is an incredibly queer game.
Yeah.
I'm not going, like, I will attribute at least a portion of how much the Ami stuff happened is because Suzupin in particular really likes lesbians.
Yeah.
That dude is a fucking Yuri freak.
Suzupin just likes women. Like
Suzupin loves women.
Suzupin appreciates the female form, I think, more than anyone else in history.
To an almost problematic degree, depending on which era of his art you're looking at.
I would call the Devil Survivor arc probably the most problematic. Some of those characters are like 15 years old.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Also, gotta say, Cyber Sleuth, more queer than any Persona game. So, got that going for it.
Most Persona games are actively homophobic.
True.
Yeah.
They're trying to get better about it nowadays.
They are trying to get better.
Yeah.
It's like, and we are definitely approaching a point where like a lot of very main like big name Japanese franchises are way more open to the idea of being progressive in a social regard. Like, fucking Final Fantasy 16 had an on-screen gay kiss. Like, the biggest name in Japanese gaming did it.
Yeah.
Aside from, like, Dragon Quest, I guess. But, like, Dragon Quest has been relevant for 10 fucking years.
I was about to say, that thing's actually losing relevance the way it's going. Yeah. Good God.
And it's just, like... Because, like, again, this is, like... I'm not saying Japan is a socially conservative nation, blah, blah. I'm not being that kind of person. I'm not being a fucking, like, anti-woke weeb.
Dipshit.
I'm not being a chud. I am fully aware that there is a very big queer scene in Japan, and it's like not an inherently progressive nation, especially when it comes to fucking media. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of like fiction, especially when you go to, like, the manga and light novels that are just like so gay, and like a lot of them are being picked up for more mainline like adaptations nowadays. Like the attitudes and cultures are very clearly shifting in a more progressive direction. And I feel like we are at a point where we can definitely just like we can just have lesbians in Digimon and gay dudes in Digimon now. And I feel like Unchained is the best example of that. It is an incredibly recent Digimon thing that it's an offshoot of one of the less important products of like their lineup. Like, it's not a mainline anime. It's not a main game. It's like the card game, which is the third pillar of their entire like series. And it's a thing based on that card game. It's not the card game itself. But that is a really big
It was
thing
kind of like
that
their main Digimon project for like a
while. Like, they really pushed it, and Unchained is just non-binary. Just explicitly stated outright within the bio on the fucking website. Like, because of how long Time Stranger has been in development, I can 100% see the kind of like almost rolling back on that as like a side effect of that, where like this shit was probably written fucking 10 years ago. I'm almost expecting the DLC to be weirdly gayer. Like
I mean, again, also probably partially because the barrier to entry is a little higher, because it's like for people who are already played the fucking game.
Exactly. And just like, and I fully expect the next full-blown Digimon project to just be really fucking gay. Elysion especially. There aren't men in that game. Shoto's the only dude in that game.
Hey guys, when you put in the gays and the guys, the girls and the gays, can you include Shoto Kazama in that? The girls, the gays, and Shoto Kazama.
It's like there are 3 major like have art characters in Digimon Liberator, and they're all women. There is another newly named character from the web novel that is going to be in Elysion that's also a fucking woman.
Thinking about it too, like if you divide the main comic group of Liberator,
it's mostly women.
It's like literally like it depends on if you count Cool Boy or not, because he's not really like
kind of the main cast, kind of not. He's not like part of the party for the most part. Like the main party is Close, Violet, Arisa, Shoto, Owen.
Yao.
And Yao, It's two bros who are definitely fucking each other. And a bunch of women. It's so fucking fun. It's like it very much feels like the kind of way where just like maybe they're thinking next level. Maybe they're just like, we don't have to say these kinds of things. It's just like, they're gay. Like,
I don't feel like we should give them that much credit.
I'm not giving them that much credit. I just think it's really funny.
We should have put the rope out.
Yeah.
Also worth pointing out, even though, a little bit, it's a side project of a side project, the Liberator novel did have a female main character for like the first time in Digimon. They finally fucking broke that ceiling.
The first ever feminine main character, and now they're doing it again with Elysion.
Yeah,
like I think that's the craziest one. It's just like, Elysion, you don't like. It's a fucking mobile gacha. No, you don't get a choice.
Yeah.
You're playing as a girl. That is crazy to me.
Yeah,
like that's like fucking unheard of outside of games that are like very clearly aimed at women, like Infinity Nikki. Like,
I don't wonder if something shifted like the past couple of years.
Where just like maybe they just kind of were just like, oh man, that's a fucking. I almost
I went with a different one that I think you still cannot say on this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, look, all I'm saying is I have seen more art of Dynasmon and Lord Nightmon making out in the past, 6 months than in the rest of my life combined.
Right? That's another one that what I consider putting on this list but didn't was the Dynasmon and Lord Nightmon. Because every iteration of those two, they're like fucking both.
The time
strange. Such an old married couple.
The time you have to mention the Time Stranger one. Actually, that one is like basically text. Actually, it's like the gayest thing in that game.
They're like in Time Stranger, Lord Nightmon and Dynasmon are so fucking like they are just an old married couple at that point. Like you rescue fucking Dynasmon
first,
and he's just like, my fucking husband is missing. And
he's like vaguely like, I'm really concerned about it.
Yeah, just like I'm kind of worried. He's been missing for a while. Can you go like fetch him for me?
And then he does show up. They immediately start bickering like an old married couple, and you have to like dissolve them. It's really funny too because that quest opens by not either of them contacting you, but like Slavemon contacts you, being like, they keep arguing with each other. Can you come help?
It is so fucking funny.
Domestic, please.
Yeah,
and you do in fact just resolve a domestic between those two.
Oh,
and they even do the thing in because you get like if you do all the Royal Knight quests, you get the thing at the end of the game where like all the Royal Knights come in and help you instead of just Omnimon. And they do the thing from like Frontier where it's like when Dynasmon attacks, it like does they do like the back-to-back like revolving thing, and the next one to attack is Lord Nightmon.
It's really good. Like
that part in Time Stranger that happened for everybody here.
God. And I feel like Dynasmon and Lord Nightmon are the closest the franchise has ever gotten to like
the Digimon being
like having Digimon be romantically involved in any capacity.
And that was not in Frontier itself, for the record. That's like stuff that happened after Frontier because people started shipping those to it from Frontier.
And like I guess you could make the argument for like Jellymon, kind of.
Yeah.
That
if we want to talk about the Digimon human thing, which is not, I guess, not necessarily LGBT, although I guess it kind of is because they're all non-binary.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was the fucking Elysiumon from Beat Break.
That is true. That is true. They do refer to Haruми as darling.
They have the one scene where like they like kind of almost vaguely imply that they like,
yeah.
From
yeah.
And the rest of them look at Harumi like, what the fuck did you do?
What did you do?
Harumi has to be like, stop giving them the wrong fucking idea, please.
Okay, this is good. So, do you remember in the Time Stranger spoiler cast, we talked about how they've been weirdly like iffy about broaching the topic of having partners in Digimon fucking.
Yeah.
And then they started doing this shit. Like
Elysiumon just implies somehow her and Harumi like it's that's sex.
It's so bizarre that like someone higher up in like the Digimon department woke up and was just like, people really want to fuck the Digimon. We should just like make that a thing that happens in one of our franchises so they know that like, yeah, no, it's cool, you can fuck your partner.
Waking up in a hot sweat.
I mean, as long as you're not the I mean, I feel like it's fine as long as you're not like, on the anime rules where outside of fights they referred back to the literal child form.
Yeah. I mean, how that doesn't even really apply to anime rules much now anymore.
Yeah, I mean, both Jellymon and Elisa are fucking...
Yeah.
Rookie, so like
even then, like a lot of partners just don't revert to rookie a lot of times now. Beat Break has a bunch of ones that just earn perfect or champion at all times.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, even back then there was the Kawagamon like partner.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting like way off topic for our Pride Month video. It's all queer related. We're queer, so it's Pride Month no matter what. I think we can wrap this up though. But just lots of I'm very excited to see what they do with this kind of stuff moving forward, because over the last year, just the last year, they have made it really obvious that they are more than willing to represent these kinds of things, and are willing to continue pushing the ideas that were kind of present before, even if on accident.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see like in the future what they do.
Yeah, I hope more really get some of it. I do hope one of them. I mean, Meto and Kanon are like fairly explicit about it. So, but I do hope that like more of it becomes explicit.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope that all our theories are correct, and toward the end of Beat Break, they just outright confirm that Kyo and Asuka were together.
Yeah.
Like, because there's so much about that just kind of lines up.
Kyo is also a very motherly man, so...
Like, they're the same age, they knew each other in the past. Kyo is he's got that, he's gay.
Yeah.
It's,
Also, this is, again, very much broaching the, like, Taichi Yamato realm, I understand.
Yeah.
Raito's got, like, some kind of thing for Toro, like, 100%.
Yeah, Raito's lusting after him, for sure.
Yeah.
Rivalry that extends beyond just rivalry.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere, even remotely, but...
No, Tomino is too busy.
I'd at least give that a little bit, make that a little bit believable.
Tomino is a little, like, I think he's after that terrorist.
Tomino is too busy trying to get pussy from an autistic girl who has shared traumatic experience.
And is also a terrorist.
It's a domestic terrorist, yeah.
Look forward to the Core Free review, everyone.
That's going to be happening in a couple weeks, yeah.
Terrorist pussy just hits different. What can I say?
I mean, you can't really blame him. I'm just
much like Keisuke, he is also after the autistic girl with the plushies instead of plushies, it's pipe bombs.
Jesus fucking Christ. Or plus, she's a giant fucking Memphis mom she sleeps on top of. All right, we gotta cut this off.
Yeah.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride.